Hey everybody, and welcome to my In5 series on the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. You're watching me push a bunch of buttons to disable things and turn things off because what I'm about to show you is very finicky and there's a lot of moving parts to know. And if I make a mistake, I'm going to record it this time because it's like the 4th or 5th time I'm trying to do this video and explain it, and it's just hard to do without making a mistake. Anyway, Thomas wrote into me through Bandcamp asking if there was a way to have an external sequencer or other MIDI device to control the SP404 Mark II to start and stop loops and start and stop patterns. I'm going to broadly say yes, but it is, as I said, very finicky and it can require some patience. It's going to bend your mind because things aren't going to work quite the way you want to consistently, because you're going to get into like one behavior and then you're like, oh, I need something else to work, and it's going to drive you nuts. Anyway, I have a drum loop here. Right now, gate and loop are off. So it's just going to play once, totally fine. And if I tap it, it's going to just trigger and restart from the beginning. Possibly the behavior you want. Now, just to show you as well, over here on the MPC, I can start and stop this as much as I want. So if you have an MPC and you've played with loop, you probably know this already, but if you turn loop on, what effectively this is going to do is it makes it so that this pad with this drum loop is going to loop forever once I hit it. And then basically the behavior is going to be, it will stop when I hit or re-trigger it again. And I can do the same thing from the MPC over here, and I just started it, I can stop it. Not a big deal. And I'm just showing you here, I've got no patterns selected. A weird behavior of this is if I start it and I hit play and stop on the sequencer, it's not doing and controlling anything. So what we need to do is figure out how to actually play the pattern to get it to start and stop. Now, I've got a pattern here, and it was set, this A1 was set to trigger, or it was set to play that drum loop 2 times. So basically that's a 1-bar loop. It triggers on 1-1 and then it triggers on 2-1, and just that it's a 2-bar pattern. So I just want to show you, try to explain so you understand what's happening. So I can come in and I can select this pattern by making a program change. So program change to 0 is selecting a pattern A1. So now hit play, it's going to start. Then you hear it doesn't play the second one because the loop starts and the loop stops. So if you want this to work correctly, now we need to turn looping off, which can be a little counterintuitive, but this would be how you do it. Now, the interesting thing about doing this is if I hit stop, it's going to stop playing the pattern, and when the pattern stops playing, it stops playing all of the things that were triggered as part of the pattern. So, and you can see here, now I hit start, it's not playing anything. This can be kind of finicky to get it to work. I haven't quite figured out exactly what causes that behavior, but you can see like this time I started, it played fine, hit stop, started again, hit stop. I'm just telling you guys, I don't quite know why sometimes it's not triggering. I don't know if it's an MPC problem or an SP404 Mark II problem. Even with the last video you saw, like for some reason I wasn't hitting on that first beat, but I just wanted you to know you can, in theory and mostly in practice, use your transport controls on the MPC or presumably another device to start and stop here. And you can see here, I can select different patterns. Now, there is a difficult problem here to solve, because if I start it and then I go to off for program change, the SP404 Mark II just thinks I'm still on A1. It just thinks I want to keep playing patterns. I can't stop this pattern without hitting exit, which is now killing it. That's not really what I want to do. And when I hit the program change, you can see like it doesn't re-trigger necessarily this pattern. So if I stop, hit play again, now it's going to be like, oh, okay, I've got the play message or signal from the MPC. It's going to restart. And you can now do the things that you normally would, where you can switch between, use program change to switch between your patterns. But the important part is, besides hitting the transport control stop, there's no way to actually select like a empty pattern to get it to stop playing. Because watch this. Now it's doing it again. So I hit play, and it started the pattern. It's just going to keep looping. But if I go select number 2, which would be here, there's nothing here for it to select, so that the SP404 Mark II decides I'm not selecting anything. Well, I created this pattern 13, which is empty. So I'm going to go down to program change 12 to select this pattern A13, and it's going to loop around. It's now selecting it. Now it's not playing anything, but this is, besides using the transport controls to stop, this is probably going to be your best bet. Is, I mean, what I did to actually create this, because you have to have a note in a sequence, a pattern, for it to be able to be recorded. I created this empty, if you go look, there's nothing here. It's just an empty sample. So the reason why I did that was so that I could trigger this, get it recorded into pattern A13, and then have a target where I could play, like start and stop. So I can actually presumably start here. Yeah, I don't know. See, sometimes it says stop and it won't play it. And as long as it says play pattern, you know it's playing. And then now I can come back and select like a different pattern. And then when it loops around, it'll come over here and do it. But you are always kind of stuck on whatever the grid is. You can use subpad to instantly change to another pattern, but that could break your synchronization with an external device. Anyway, as I said, this can all be a little bit complicated because you need to know, do you want to be in loop mode or not, so that you can toggle something on and off? Do you want to be using patterns to start and stop so that you can actually start and stop everything in beat and in time? It's probably something you need to kind of write down, think about, and understand what's going on here. I hope what I covered, though, helped and showed you at least what you can be thinking about to try and use MIDI signals from an external device to control the SP404 Mark II. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good, and peace.